Alrighty, now the Ontario government, God bless them, has issued an advice sheet to public servants on how to be particularly sensitive to Muslim colleagues during Ramadan, because until they did, we were not sensitive. Nothing wrong with that, I suppose, or is there? Now, Ron Banerjee is from the Hindu advocacy group, and, what did you do to your head, you poor dear? What's gone wrong?
Well, Canadian Hindu advocacy, by the way, and no, a bird did not fly over my head on my way here.
I wouldn't suggest such a thing.
Of course not. No, but this is a tilak. This is a Hindu religious symbol that a lot of people, a lot of Hindus wear. Some do, some don't. Yeah. During religious times, a lot of them do. And if we were to ask for religious people to have religious accommodations for Hindus, this would be the extent of it. Please let us wear this on the show and in the office.
During Ramadan is a month of fasting until sunset, and I have great respect for religion, and it should be treated with respect and courtesy, which it seldom is in Canada these days, of course. But Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Passover, Easter, Christmas, the Hindu festivals, the Buddhist ones, it's only the government says doesn't matter too much about that, but Ramadan, be very sensitive. Now, this includes if you're going to eat something, because, well, not all, but Orthodox Muslims fast during Ramadan. If you're going to eat something, eat it away from where your Muslim colleague is. Sorry, that's not freedom of religion. You eat where you want to eat. I mean, you don't go up to them and wave food in their face. That would just be crass. But otherwise, you just get on with your life.
You should be able to, but there are all kinds of details. Listen, we were contacted by people from our community as well as other regular white Canadians as well, who've been telling us what has been going on in those offices.
What?
And, well, for example, you would be reprimanded for that, for having a cup of water there. During the meetings, company meetings, during the day, somebody was reprimanded. He was asked to be more sensitive because he drank a cup of water.
Hold on,
you know, sipping from a cup of water.
Someone drank water, and they were reprimanded. That is incredible!
I know. Not only that, they've been asked to be sensitive to the fact that Muslims may take their dirty, stinky feet and they may put them...
Hold on. You don't know the feet are dirty or stinky.
Well,
they could be very clean.
They could be clean feet. However, usually feet, being trapped in shoes and socks all day long, walking around, they're putting their feet onto sinks, okay? And they're washing their feet 5 times a day because they're required to pray 5 times a day, and they have to wash.
But that's not
everything.
just in Ramadan, is it?
I don't think that's just in Ramadan. No, but they're doing this during Ramadan. I don't know if they're doing it during other times as well. So people are walking into the washroom. They're seeing all these Muslim people putting their feet up in the sink, trying to wash their feet. Sinks aren't designed for that. They're designed to wash hands.
Have you actually had complaints? Have people said to you, I walked into the communal bathroom and there were several people with their feet up on the sink washing their feet? People have said this to you?
People have mentioned to me. I don't know about several. I don't know the exact number of people at a time that were doing it, but apparently they were doing it, and they were sloshing water all over the floor, and it's just during that Ramadan time frame, it's quite a nightmare apparently. In a lot of respects.
It doesn't sound like a nightmare, and it sounds like it's a bit annoying, and it's another example of political correctness, but it's hardly a nightmare, is it?
Well, I don't know what you'd call it, but, you know, people are sort of walking around on tiptoes during that time frame.
But clean tiptoes?
I guess they're clean. I would hope, yeah. I mean, 5 times a day, why not? But no, but the thing is, we've also been asked to be sensitive to the fact that Muslims are fasting all day, so they may their energy level may be a little bit low. So I have been told, not in all the offices, but in some of the offices, they're not always pulling their fair share of the weight. They're being asked to, and people are afraid to complain. People are afraid to complain. This is the worst part of this, that people are afraid to inform their managers that so-and-so is not pulling his share or is not working because they're afraid, because all the managers will may simply turn around and tell them that, listen, you have to tolerate this because you got to remember this is a sensitive month for these guys.
Do you have evidence of this? I mean, because someone could argue, oh, you're just being reactive, you're an extremist. People have actually said to you, by the way, this is entirely rational, and we should be allowed to discuss it. If you are fasting all day, there are issues of blood sugar. And again, I admire the idea of fasting, fine, but if you're in a working environment being paid by public dollars, Ontario government, then you do have to work at normal efficiency. And if you're not eating, then it could be an issue. You have evidence that people are not, because of their fasting, they're not always up to the normal level of work.
That is what I have been told. We have been told this, and not only that, the Toronto Sun, I believe the reporter's name is Godfrey, Mr. Tom Godfrey. You know, he asked me about it, and he actually contacted some of these people who told him some of these things. So it's not just us. The initial complaints came to us, and then they went to the Toronto Sun newspaper. And Mr. Godfrey's done a good job following up on them and checking his sources and asking and confirming and verifying various things.
Pluralism is always messy. It has to be. It's one of the beauties of pluralism. It's messy. It's not direct lines. And there are some groups, whether it may, sometimes Islamic groups, gay groups, Jewish groups, always has dominance. No, well, no, it doesn't work that way. The lines will blur a bit. We have to make sure, I think you can be reasonable. Someone who is taking Ramadan seriously is accommodated. But a virtual diktat going out saying you have to be sensitive, and it assumes that we're not sensitive. I have many Muslim friends. I might have a glass of water with me, but I would never eat in front of them in a very ostentatious way. It would simply be bad manners. We're all good people.
Right, absolutely, definitely. And here's the thing. I have been asked, apparently the ministry or the Attorney General's office or, I don't know, Ontario Public Service, they've tried to cover their tracks. After Ramadan, they've stated that we're going to provide some of these guidelines for the Hindu Diwali.
I don't want that either, nor Rosh Hashanah. I don't want any of that.
Well,
just do what you do. Be Canadian. Get on with your life.
Well, yeah, exactly. But they have issued these guidelines to try to cover their tracks. And I know as a Hindu, and I've
Stop touching your mic.
Oh, sorry.
Otherwise, you'll have to wash your feet. Go on, finish your point.
And I've heard from some of my Jewish colleagues as well. I've asked them, what sort of accommodation would you ask for an office during Rosh Hashanah?
Yeah.
Nothing at all. Those who are very religiously observant
they're not there.
would not be there. Yeah. They would take the day off, or they would use up their vacation time, and they simply wouldn't be there. But in the office itself, they really would not ask for any sort of
or Yom Kippur.
Special,
but now what happened in Yom Kippur 1973? Oh, I know. Most of the Arab Muslim world invaded Israel. I'm sure we'll have some response to this. And I heard you on radio the other day with a rather radical Islamic fellow who I think actually threatened you when you said this. And the words were something like, you better watch out, you better be careful.
Watch out, Banerjee, something to that effect.
Yeah.
That would be Imam Rockwell.
Oh, well, yeah, I've had him on the show before. He sells jeans, doesn't he?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm a 38 waist. I don't fit it. Thank you so very much indeed, and happy whatever it is right now.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for having me on.